Can a warning become a threat to a champion? Francisco Cerundolo is clear about it. I have another chance against one of the best in the world. And that chance has a name and surname, Carlos Alcaraz. In this video, we'll tell you how the Argentine has fired up the anticipation ahead of the long-awaited clash in Monte Carlo with statements that sound like a warning. Will Cerundolo manage to pull off the upset? Or will Alcaraz impose his rule on the clay? Carlos Alcaraz arrives in Monte Carlo needing to rediscover his best tennis after an irregular season and a recent setback in Miami. However, the Masters 1000 draw hasn't exactly given him a break. He will debut against a red-hot rival, the Argentine Francisco Cerundolo. This matchup is drawing special attention due to Cerundolo's current form. He just demolished former champion Fabio Fognini with a dominant 6-0, 6-3. In top form and full of confidence, he's not afraid of the challenge. The Argentine has proven to be a serious contender this season. With 16 wins and just 7 losses, Cerundolo has had a solid 2025, highlighted by a run to the final at the Argentina Open. During that same tournament, he pulled off a major feat, defeating Alexander Zverev, then the world number 2. That victory gave him not just prestige but also an extra boost of confidence against the top players. Now, with his sights set on Monte Carlo, Cerundolo isn't hiding. He declares, maybe third time's the charm. The history between them already has 2 chapters. The first came on the grass courts of Queens in 2024, where Alcaraz won convincingly 6-1, 7-5. The second was much more recent. At Indian Wells 2025, Carlitos again beat the Argentine in a tighter match, 6-3, 7-6. Despite these losses, Cerundolo isn't giving up. Quite the opposite, he believes this could be his big opportunity, now on a surface he knows better and where he's achieved most of his important wins. Cerundolo is aware of the challenge, but also of his own evolution. In an interview with ESPN Argentina, he made it clear that although he's no longer sure clay is his favorite surface, he still feels something special on it. It's the one I grew up on and played on all my life, he said. Playing again in Monte Carlo, especially on center court and against a giant like Alcaraz, represents a special moment and extra motivation. He doesn't see it as pressure, but as a new chance to prove his level. His stats against top 10 players also boost his confidence. Cerundolo holds a respectable 14-14 record against this tennis elite, with 8 of those wins coming on clay. This means that although he hasn't yet beaten Alcaraz, he has the record and the ability to put up a serious fight. Plus, he feels backed by his consistent work and his growth across all surfaces, including hard courts, where he's also had good results. And while he acknowledges that the Spaniard is great on all surfaces, Cerundolo clings to one motivating thought: I'll need a bit of luck. That sentence may sound modest, but it holds a dangerous truth. Margins at this level are razor thin, and a couple of points can change everything. If there's wind, if there's pressure, if Alcaraz has an off day, or if the Argentine starts hot, anything can happen. Because in tennis, especially on clay, every match is a world of its own. Francisco Cerundolo hasn't thrown a direct provocation, but his message is clear: he's not in Monte Carlo just to show up, he's here to win. With 2 previous losses to Alcaraz and an undiminished hunger, the Argentine steps onto the Principality's clay with a firm intention to deliver the upset. And that attitude, along with his strong form, makes this one of the most anticipated first-round matches. Carlos Alcaraz, meanwhile, will have to be more alert than ever. Not only because he needs to consolidate his game on this surface, but because across the net will be a fearless opponent, motivated, and with the kind of tennis that can trouble anyone. The message has been sent. The threat is real. And the battle is about to begin. Carlos Alcaraz has begun the clay season with the Monte Carlo Masters 1000 as his first stop on the calendar. After an American swing with no titles in Indian Wells or Miami, the criticism came quickly. However, far from crumbling, the Spanish player has shown great maturity in addressing the moment he's going through, and especially the constant comparisons with the legendary Big Three. In a recent interview with GQ magazine, Alcaraz was blunt: "It's a compliment, but I'm Carlos Alcaraz." While his youth might suggest a lack of experience, his accomplishments tell another story. At just 21 years old, he'll turn 22 on May 5, he's already won 3 of the 4 Grand Slams, Roland Garros, Wimbledon, and the US Open. An impressive record for someone who hasn't even reached the halfway point of his professional career. It's precisely this early success that has fueled comparisons with Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, and Novak Djokovic, 3 names who defined 2 decades of tennis. Despite his media and sporting impact, Alcaraz doesn't let the outside noise affect him. He's even stated that he's not obsessed with matching or surpassing these icons. "I'd love to sit at the same table as those three, but it's not something I'm obsessed with," he said. His focus is on carving his own path, enjoying the process, and most importantly, improving every day without losing sight of who he truly is. In a time where comparisons are everywhere, that authenticity is pure gold. Alcaraz has managed to stay true to himself amidst the media storm around him. While many see him as Nadal's natural successor, he prefers to let his game speak for itself. "I try to make my own way," he insists. And that path, so far, has led him to write golden pages in Spanish and world tennis history. His aggressive style, positive mindset, and ability to adapt to different surfaces make him a unique talent. But above all, it's his maturity that stands out most. Alcaraz also features in a recent documentary that showcases his routine, his environment, and how he handles the pressure of being constantly under the spotlight. Seeing the Merchant both on and off the court offers a more human view of someone many already consider a future legend. In that context, he was also asked about the challenge of surpassing the records of Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, a pressure that could crush anyone. But he takes it calmly and philosophically, showing that his biggest goal isn't to win everything, but to enjoy the journey. Although his numbers are still far from the sports titans, Alcaraz's progression is that of a rising star. He's had brilliant moments and darker ones, like this 2025 start. But even in adversity, he keeps growing, learning, and strengthening his identity as a player. He doesn't need to be the new Nadal or the Spanish Djokovic. He's Carlos Alcaraz. And that's enough. Because what he brings to tennis, both on and off the court, is already of immense value. Comparisons may be inevitable, but they're not always fair. Carlos Alcaraz understands this perfectly. At 21, he's building an impressive career, but he's doing it with his feet on the ground and his heart on his own path. Admiring the big three doesn't mean living in their shadow, and Alcaraz proves it with every word and every shot on court. While some want to see him as the heir to an era, he prefers to be the pioneer of his own. Without obsession, without pressure, and with his enthusiasm intact. The future of tennis may have many names, but Carlos Alcaraz has already made it clear that he wants to write his without imitations. What weighs more in tennis, the racket or the pressure? Carlos Alcaraz returns to Monte Carlo with an emotional backpack that may weigh more than any opponent. "That pressure probably killed me," confessed the Merchant. In this video, we analyze Carlitos' return to the Monte Carlo Masters 1000, his brutally honest words about pressure, and the clash that pits him against a red-hot Cerundolo. Will he be able to rediscover his best version on clay? Let's find out. Carlos Alcaraz arrives at the Monte Carlo Masters 1000 with his sights not only on the trophy but also on regaining the confidence lost after a 2025 start marked by inconsistency. Following a surprise first-round defeat at the Miami Open to David Goffin, the Spaniard openly admitted that pressure had taken its toll. Expectations soared after Jannik Sinner's suspension, and many thought Alcaraz had a clear path to the top. But that freedom turned into a burden. "That pressure probably killed me," he said. These statements show that beyond talent, what Alcaraz needs is a mental break. At 21, he's already won 3 Grand Slams, but that doesn't make him immune to the weight of expectations. Returning to Monte Carlo represents an opportunity for a fresh start. In 2022, he didn't make it past the first round, and in 2023 he didn't compete at all. This year, his goal isn't just to win, but to reconnect with his essence as a player, without the anxiety that has held him back in recent tournaments. The opening match in the Principality won't be easy. Francisco Cerundolo awaits on the other side of the net. The Argentine comes in confident after crushing Fabio Fognini and with a strong 2025 that has placed him at number 22 in the world rankings. He's a clay court specialist, and his playing style can trouble any top player. Monte Carlo will be the perfect stage for a battle between two players hungry for redemption. Alcaraz can't afford more missteps if he wants to reclaim his dominance. Beyond the physical clash, this match is also a mental confrontation. Alcaraz has said he doesn't want to obsess over rankings or the points lost due to Sinner's absence. "Even if he doesn't play, I'm too far from him," he commented calmly. This marks a shift in focus. The Merchant seems to have realized that his greatest opponent isn't the ranking or the player across the net, it's in his mind. His evolution will not only be technical but emotional, and Monte Carlo could mark a turning point. Cerundolo, for his part, isn't backing down. His win over Fognini was a statement, and although he's never beaten Alcaraz, he knows each match is a new story. He's already shown he can go toe-to-toe with the best, and his ability to read the game and adapt to clay conditions makes him a very dangerous opponent. This will be his first official clash against the Merchant on clay, adding an intriguing layer of uncertainty. The atmosphere in Monte Carlo is full of anticipation. It will be a day where excitement is guaranteed. Alcaraz wants to prove his talent remains intact, and Cerundolo is looking to establish himself as a real threat on the tour. Both arrive with different needs, but the same goal: to win. And when that need combines with the quality they both possess, the result is usually epic. This is more than just a match, it's a statement of intent for the rest of the season. Carlos Alcaraz has made it clear that he's not a winning machine, but a human being with emotions, fears, and challenges. In Monte Carlo, more than defending points or chasing rankings, he wants to enjoy tennis again. And that, perhaps, is the first step to shining once more. On the other side, Cerundolo won't make it easy. With his good form and comfort on clay, he'll be a very tough opponent. The Monte Carlo Masters promises an exciting chapter between two talents with a lot to say this season. Do you think Carlos Alcaraz will be able to shake off the pressure and get back to his best? Or will Cerundolo deliver the tournament's big upset? Let us know your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss a single detail of this clay court season. We bring you tennis like no one else. See you in the next one.